Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Well, I'm going to tell you what, that did not feel good. Okay? Absolutely 100% did not feel good. So, I just picked Abby's stump grinder up from Premier in Cordova, Tennessee. And yeah, that hit my soul. Hit me right there. Which I understand, they gotta make their money. You know. And I took it to them knowing they gotta make their money. And they did what I didn't have time to do. They got it fixed. So now I can put Abby, well, I shouldn't say put Abby. I can get Abby back to work, grinding stumps. And to be honest with you, she's about a month and a half behind right now. So let me fill you in on Abby's schedule. Okay. Abby handles all the stump grinding for the business. She handles all the legal paperwork for the business. Okay. She handles all the taxes for the business. If I have to have permits or bonds or anything to go do tree work in a town, she handles all that. She takes care of the kids. She cooks all the meals. And she's an amazing cook, by the way. If you followed all my videos, you'll realize she's an amazing cook. I mean, just amazing. Okay, so the reason why I started this video is because people say tree work is expensive. And I say yes, it is. It's very expensive. The reason why is because my insurance is not cheap. My fuel is not cheap. My employees are not cheap. And my equipment is not cheap. And here's the case in point. So, clutch went out on Abby's stump grinder. I made the hour and 45-minute trip. Or, well, let me back up. When the clutch went out, I said, hey, I'm going to fix it myself. And I probably could have, but with everything else breaking down, it was just like, it just kept putting back, and I never got time for it. So finally, I just said, hey, look, I'm going to bring it to the dealer, let them fix it. So, I'm trying to get my thoughts together. So, got a clutch installed and got a toggle switch installed. Just one toggle switch installed, nothing else. They didn't even put the covers back on, which I told them not to put the covers back on. Don't get it twisted. They did wonderful work. They did wonderful work. I bought one Samson yeah, 9/16 rope and one handsaw, plus one set of belts and one other little bitty belt. Little bitty belt. And it was $4,100, like 4130 something, 4135 ish, somewhere in that neighborhood. So $4,134. The clutch alone costs, just for the part alone, costs $2,600. My gosh. Y'all killing me. Here's the only problem. I called him like 2 months ago about the same problem, you know, when I decided that I was going to fix it, and that same clutch was like $1,600. So somehow it went up from in 3 months, it went up $1,000 in 3 months. Not saying that that was their fault, but just saying that's what it did. Wish I'd have ordered the clutch 3 months ago. So my point is, if you gripe about your tree work, or you gripe about anything really, I mean, people never see this. Like my tree customers, they never see the fact that I just drove, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours to drop the stump grinder off. Then I paid $4,200 to get it fixed. And then I drove another hour and a half, 2 hours to go pick it up. So I mean, you gotta think about all the little stuff. Price, fuel, tires, brakes. You know, my time, every little thing, which I don't count that. But people look at me and they go, oh, well, you're charging $500 to grind this stump. Why are you charging that? And I look at them and I tell them, I say, hey, the maintenance repairs on this machine are not cheap. It's a $40,000 machine. So, you know, which, granted, honestly, I try to give my customers the best prices possible. I mean, and a lot of times, and that's my problem, a lot of times I lose money trying to give them the best prices possible. Or I help a little old lady out, or something like that. You know, or a widow woman, or whatever. But just, they don't see this part of it. They don't see me going to the shop and spending $4,000 to fix the machine. Spending, you know, 2 hours worth of gas to get up there. 2 hours worth of gas to get back. And just, oh, and the shop wanted to replace the belts. I think I touched on this earlier, but I told them, I said, I already have the belts, and they charge $150 an hour, their shop rate. I said, I can change the belts myself. I don't want to offend you, don't want to make anybody mad, but I don't want to pay you $150 shop rate. I can change the belts in my driveway by myself without paying you $150 shop rate. They were like, no, man, we completely understand. So, alright, well, hey, it's starting to get dark. Let me get home, and drop the trailer. I'll show you where the stump grinder's at now, and then that's going to be the end of this video. But man, I'm going to tell you that $4,200, that hurt my soul. Hurt my soul. But thankfully, I've got a wonderful woman to go home to, and 2 beautiful children that love me most of the time. Most of the time. Yeah. So, there you go. Hey, check back with y'all in a little while. Alright, so here we are. The next day. Got my crew started on the tree work. And so, I'm going to show you the stump grinder. Show you what, Vermeer did or whatever. And then we go from there. So, here's a stump grinder. It's Vermeer 362. They replaced this clutch. This clutch was locked up. Like, just locked up. Okay. So, and they told me at the shop that they said, hey, we recommend you replace this belt, these belts, and this belt. Which, granted, those belts have some wear, but also their shop rate is $150 an hour, and I didn't want to pay that. And also, this right here is stripped out. See? So, I don't have time to fix this right now, and they didn't have one in the shop that they could replace it with. But they told me that I could just run I could just weld this to this and it would be fine. So, brand new clutch and a brand new toggle switch right there. That clutch and that toggle switch was $4,000. So, now what I'm gonna do, because I need to go grind stumps, is I'm gonna wait on this right here, and I'm gonna do that in the next couple days. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put these covers back on. I told them at the shop, I said, don't even worry about putting the covers back on. Just, just replace the clutch and the toggle switch. $4,000. Now, they got all the belts tight. So there's 3 covers. There's one cover here, one cover that goes here, and another cover that goes right here. So I'm gonna put those covers back on, and then I'm gonna go to grind the stumps. And generally, the stump grinder goes the other way on this trailer. The head is that way. So the front tires go to that 2x4, and then the head sits down on this piece of plywood. And that's how it generally goes. This is how we loaded the stump grinder on this trailer when it quit, because we couldn't crank it. We had to load it on the trailer with the tractor. Now, I bought the trailer. So I bought the trailer. I built this rack for these 2 gas cans. They're painted black because these are regular gas. These are not saw gas. So I painted them black for that purpose. I bought this toolbox, bolted it down. It's got all the grease and a chainsaw. And then I put this piece of plywood down on the trailer so that the head wouldn't mess up the trailer boards, because you can see what it's done to that piece of plywood. So one of the covers is in the toolbox, one of the covers is right there, the other cover is over there. All the bolts and nuts and everything are up there. So it'll take me maybe about 10 minutes to put all those covers on. And then I'm going to go stump grinding. Because Abby generally does all the stump grinding. But she also does a lot of other things. You know, taking care of the kids, taking the kids to school, making breakfast, making lunch, making supper. She does a lot of other things. And right now with her stump grinding, because her stump grinder's been down for 3 months, she's a month and a half behind in her work. And I know my beard is fluffy. Don't worry about it. So I went ahead and I bit the bullet. Took the stump grinder to the shop. They got it fixed, and they did a good job. I'm not complaining about them. It's just a whole bunch of money. When you start paying $150 an hour for a shop rate, it's a whole bunch of money. And the clutch was the part alone was $2,600, I think. The switch was $55. So 26 plus 55 is $2,655. So it was nearly $1,000 in labor. It is what it is. Hindsight being 2020, the day that it broke down, I should have taken it there and had it fixed there. It would have been fixed 2.5 months ago. So I'm kicking myself in the rear end for that. And she could have been stump grinding for the past 2.5 months. So now, you know, we've got customers that have already paid for stumps. And I know that sounds terrible. It is terrible. It really is actually terrible. And they've been waiting for a month for their stumps to get ground. So I'm going to throw those covers on and I'm going to start grinding. So, yeah, got to get to work. Got to get to work. All right. So y'all have a great day. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I hate stump grinding. I hate stump grinding. It's like watching paint dry. It's just you go this way, come back that way. Go this way, come back that way. That's all you do. And when you get on your bigger stumps, like, you know, your 100 inch plus stumps, you stand in the same spot for 5, 6, 8 hours. Grinding the same stump. Grind a little bit over here, moved around, grind a little bit over there, move it around, grind a little bit over there, rake all your chips out, grind a little bit over there. You know, I mean, just, I would much rather do the tree work and watch tops go from 80 feet in the air than stand there all day and grind the stump. So, but, hey, things got to be done and bills got to be paid. So that's where we're at. But thank you. Thank you, good Lord. It's back. It's fixed. It's running. And it's going to get back to work. Whether I'm running it or Abby's running it or whoever's running it, it's going to get back to work. So we're going to start with the customers that have paid. Let's start with those. And then behind that, we're going to get to the 3 weeks of customers that haven't paid yet and just want us to come do the work. And I pray to the good Lord, nothing else breaks on this machine. pray. I mean, I would handle another breakdown, but I really don't want to. So, all right. Hey, thank y'all. And as always, deuces, homies.